Was it was a discussion. It's a game that we both love, and I want everybody to understand that sometimes the emotions run high, and that's kind of what happened too. That doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Doesn't mean I'm beefing with Jalen. No, and also I want y'all to know, no, it was not about targets. I'm sure everybody thought that because he threw me the ball 3 plays in a row afterwards, but no, I was not over there discussing targets or whatever the case may be. It was something that happened earlier, and we was having a discussion about it. And so I know everybody took that out of context, but it's not a big deal. Me and him are still on the same page. We're still growing. We're still trying to become great and get wins, most importantly. But the reason why I left after the game is because my emotion was high, so I had to remove myself. Because I know all of y'all want a story and y'all doing y'all job, and I don't hold any one of y'all, forward, but I just had to clear my mind before I get in front of y'all. For sure, because Coach Sirianni said that was about a 2 out of 10. I always say that's probably like half of 1. you know. But it just looked like that because we was on TV and you know we're using our hands and stuff. And I think he kind of made it worse when he came in and tried to get in the middle of it, you know. But
put your visor on.
that's probably a good thing too. but like I said, that doesn't mean that it's all bad. You know, we're trying to be great and we're pushing each other. And so we may have uncomfortable conversations, no matter if it's in practice or in the game. You know, those conversations happen. So.
How'd you find out?
For sure, man. You got.
You told him what I said?
Nah, I ain't telling him.
You read it to him?
Yes.
Read it to him.
What did he say?
He showed me a scripture. It's don't judge. Read it. I'm gonna let him read it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him read it.
Do not judge others, and you will not be judged. For you will be treated as you treat others. The standard you use in judging is the standard by which you are judged.
There you go. Yeah.
Who wrote that?
Who wrote that? Was that Peter, Paul? Who was that? Yeah, but man, as y'all can see, man, it's not about. It wasn't a selfish act on the sideline. You see, he got my back. You know, we brothers, man. So it wasn't about that at all.
When you look back at that 2021 game and the Bucs defense, and now you see this current iteration of them, how much difference do you see when you look at what besides personnel but scheme wise as well?
About the same. They've always had a really good defense and always been a really good team. They're coached by a great coach, and they have great player and personnel there. So for us, it's another challenge for us in attacking them and controlling what we can for us.
You talked before about the thrill you find with people doubting you or being naysayers against you. I guess the NFL Films crew caught one of the Bucs coaches saying he doesn't see it. I guess do you use that as motivation? How much does that drive you?
Yeah, I think there's a whole bunch of things. I think I'm wired to give my best and to play to my standard. But a little extra inspiration never hurts.
When you watch that tape, is it clear how much better of a player you are now than then?
I think, again, it's something we talked about 2 years ago. I'd expect to be a better player, you know, and it's just about just growing. And it's just been what I've been able to do, and that's what I always strive to do, is just to grow every day.
Jalen, what are defenses doing differently now when they play you, especially obviously in the first two games?
I think you look back at the first two games, you know, you look at the total yards offense that we had. The first game, I don't know how much we had, but I know we had maybe about 450 last week. And so that's pretty on par for what we've been able to do offensively. So when you think about how it gets done, that's what everybody else wants to talk about. But
aren't they playing differently against you? I mean, okay, obviously you ran last week.
Right.
But isn't there
what I'm telling you is it's not about me, it's about us. And so if they are doing something there for me, we got 250 yards rushing to do that. And so there are multiple ways to win. And the thing that I want to make clear is when did winning not become the main thing. I always say keep the main thing, where, winning is the only thing that truly matters. And so, obviously, you have important things, right? You have priorities, and I think you have 1A and 1B. 1A is winning. 1B is playing to the standard. Now, you can win, but not play to the standard, and you're still unfulfilled. You can play to the standard and not win, and you're still unfulfilled. So what matters?
How do you define that standard?
The standard is something that's internal. It's something that is undefined by anyone else but myself, and it rises every day. And so that's the challenge. That's what we challenge ourselves with. As players, we make mistakes, we learn from them. We do great things, we learn from them. That's what the game is about. That's what this sport is about. And so we just want to continue to grow and develop as a team, learn from our successes, learn from our mistakes, and grow together. At the end of the day, you have no team, you have no dream. Takes everyone.
I'm from the outside, we can quantify 1A. You're 2-0, right? 1B, it's obviously harder for us to quantify or even qualify. Where do you guys feel, or I should say, where do you think you are relative?
And this is why I'm going to tell you that it doesn't matter what you quantify. It's about us.
How do you ignore the noise out there?
By controlling what I can.
You've always tried to do that, obviously. What people are saying.
By controlling what I can.
This town's never really happy. They were happy last year until the last game. But how do you kind of stay away from that? And I guess most players have to try to ignore it. How do you do that?
I'll say it again, by controlling what I can.
When you're seeing unscouted looks in a game, what's your process to try to diagnose it and then adjust to it?
I think that is you want to try and let it come to you and try and take what they give you. I think it's about how we're communicating and what we're trying to attack and where we are offensively. But, it comes a point where there'll come a point where you can't do any more new looks.
Does that help then to see a lot of this stuff early on?
Absolutely.
How so?
It helps. I'm a sponge. We're all sponges. I'm definitely a sponge and soaking in everything that I see. And so if you get me once, the plan is for you not to get me again.
A.J. Brown felt the need to, in locker room today, just dispel whatever rumors were, about him and you on the sideline and to say you guys are brothers and it was, you perhaps something out and you guys are great. What does that say about him that he came out and felt the need to talk about that? He wasn't even asked about it.
Yeah, but y'all talk about it and made it a big deal when it wasn't. I think that's always going to be my guy. We're all great competitors and we all want to help the team win. As I've said, so nothing's going to change with that, and he's going to continue to put his best foot forward to help the team.
How much does the history that you guys have in the relationship that you've had before you even played together kind of allow you to have those types of conversations?
Yeah, it's something that comes with it. It's something that comes with it. And the reality is we just want to win. We want to be the best that we can be. And everything is done with the team first and putting the team first and winning in mind. And so that's the approach. That will always be the approach.
You made a comment about the quarterback versus defensive coordinator battle that kind of happens in the game. I know Todd Bowles is the coach, not the coordinator. He's known for this system. What's your process like going into a game against Todd Bowles? And are you the type of quarterback who kind of keeps a database, like physical or mental, about those previous interactions?
Yeah, I think nothing changes in terms of my preparation, regardless of the defensive coordinator and what we're doing. Is simply controlling things we can. Obviously, there's history there, but we go out there controlling things that we can. We hope for the best for us. Yeah, they have great players. As I've said, they coach really well, and they do what they do really well. So it's another challenge for us, like I said, and the most important thing is for us to control what we can moving forward.
Both the Tom's old teams. Have you talked to him much this offseason or during this season, just kind of getting his perspective on coming back to the Super Bowl and everything like that?
I have not.
Jalen, it's your third game and third day of the week that you're playing. What is it about Monday Night Football? I mean, do you enjoy it with the world watching and being a featured matchup?
I do. It's a great night for football.
Okay. Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you.
You mentioned today talking about the temperature of the team, I guess, and what did you mean by that? Would you mean it's good to not be complacent, or you're a little tight?
Yeah, I think I said it on the radio that I think it's good where we're at. In this business, and I've said this before, you don't want to be comfortable. I think it's good when you come in here with a healthy level of, I don't know what the word is. I'm trying to pick the right word because I know you guys will run with any word that's not the right word. No, I don't think it's her. I think it's a healthy level of respect for the fact that if you don't prepare and try and get better and, have a very attentive mindset in meetings, out on the practice field. I think that where we're at right now is very good. We've been in close games where we haven't played our best football, and we know that, but we've won those games. So, in my opinion, it's kind of the best place to be in. We don't think we're the best in the world. We don't think we're absolutely terrible. I think we're in a good, healthy mindset of we're just working to get better. This is week 3 of the season. Nobody is where they need to be at the end of the year, and we're just going to attack each day, trying to get better and trying to be the best version of the Philadelphia Eagles that we can be.
How much do you enjoy, year in and year out, and who knows if this is even one of your last times playing on Monday Night Football with the world watching, and this, being 2-0 teams too?
Yeah, we got a lot of primetime games this year, and I think it's always fun to have more eyes on you. You get back later, which sucks, but it's fun for the game time. It's good to play good teams. You want to test yourself. You want to play good defenses. We played, obviously, really good defense week 1, good defense week 2, and we're getting another one this week. Todd Bowles has been one of the best defensive minds in the game since I've been in the league. And you see people take things from him and grab, and that's when it's really evident, how apparent that the rest of the league respects you when they're taking things that you're doing well. And Todd's phenomenal. So they have great players, great coaches. So it's another good test for us.
Your front seven is as tough as you face.
We've faced some good front sevens. New England, I think, has a very, very good front seven and a very good coach. Tampa Bay is certainly up there. They have certainly the best nose guard we probably faced so far. Vita's a hell of a player. Shaq Barrett, their linebackers inside are phenomenal. They're good across the board, and Todd does a great job of letting those guys make plays. So I think it's definitely a good test for us up front.
How much was that 2021 game, the last time you played the Buccaneers? Mm-hmm. How much of an impetus did that help you guys be to where you guys are today, help you guys in the 2022 season, especially when it comes to Jalen?
There's been a lot of things. The 2021, I think we played them twice that year, played them in the regular season and in the playoffs. So, that was 2 years ago at this point, which doesn't seem like a long time, but in NFL years, it's quite different. You can draw some things on it. There's obviously learning moments from that far back, but there have been a hell of a lot of moments where Jalen's learned from over the last 2 years and where I've learned from and the whole team.
Growth is like just when I look back at it, it's like you can really see how different of a player he is now compared to then. I guess when you think about how much has changed for him in that time, like as someone who's always been supportive of him, what gave you the confidence? Was it something you saw that year that made you confident to get to this?
Well, I try to be confident in all my teammates. I think that's an important role of a teammate. I think, Jalen in particular, he just does all the right things. He does all the right things off the field, on the field. He carries himself the right way. He's got great body language. His mentality is as dialed in as you're going to get. Guys love playing with him. So he's got all of those things. And, it always felt like, he was improving, right? Like even, everybody's going to have step backs in their career. I've certainly had mine. But there's always a desire to improve, get better, learn. He retains information really well. I always felt like it was only a matter of time.
For a long time here, you never really got to practice against big nose tackles. Has these past 2-3 years, in particular having Jordan here, I don't want to say help you for this type of matchup, but better prepare you for this type of matchup?
Maybe we've had some big nose guards. Even in Billy Davis's scheme, Clifton Gather's like 6'8", 330 pounds. He's a monster. Benny Logan wasn't small. Had Haloti Nada here for a stint. Bo Allen, Honey Bobo was a pretty. So now Jordan is quite a different specimen than a lot of people, and I don't know that him and Vita are the same style and type of player, even though they're both massive. I think it's always a learning process. You're always trying to find different ways to have success against anybody you play, and it's going to be a tough one this week. He's a great player. They're good across the board on defense. So, I think whenever you're playing, just to get back to Jordan, whenever you're playing good players in practice, you're going to be getting better. The iron sharpens iron. Whenever you're playing good players, you're going to be improving in practice.
Jason, you mentioned the close outcomes of the first 2 games. And, I don't want to set up a straw man here, but you could say, okay, they won 2 games and they've experienced some close games, so they'll be better prepared for a dogfight later in the season, because they've now experienced close games, whereas you could have won both of those games by wider margins.
Sure.
Like you did a number of games last year, and then someone might say, well, they haven't been tested yet in 3 games. I guess what I'm asking is one better than another? Is it good to go through?
You want all of that throughout the season. I know everybody's really focused in the now, I guess, and the narrative, the start, I guess. To me, it's just an ongoing process, and you're going to have, you want to have games where you're clicking and kicking tail and executing on all cylinders. We want to do that. And that's a great sign when teams are doing that. But it's also a good sign when you're closing out competitive, tough games and playing smart football down the stretch, because you're going to need to do that at some point if you want to win a Super Bowl or win in the playoffs. So, if you're winning all your games by 2-3 points and really sloppy ball and making mistakes, that's not good. But as long as you're showing improvement, I think that there's learning moments from the first 2 weeks. There's a healthy level of desire for everyone in this building to improve right now. I think there's positives to take whichever way you look at it.
You mentioned Vita a little bit. Basically, since he got there, they've been very good stopping the run. But obviously, it's more than him. As a team that generally runs the football very well, when you come up against good run defenses, what do they do that other people can't do?
Well, one, they have great players. You mentioned Vita. You got to have good players in this league. And I think that, their scheme and the way that Todd does things makes it incredibly difficult. There are multiple defense. They don't just, line up the same way. They're going to throw you off. They're going to, build a lot of men on the line to take off double teams if they can. They're going to blitz. He'll do a lot of different things, and he has the savviness to know when to implement all of it. I think at this point in the league, most defenses have all these things. It's really the savviness of when to utilize them and having the players that he has, and that's why it's tough when you play against really, really good coordinators. You're some days you're going to get them and you're going to be clicking all cylinders, and then some days it's going to be tough sledding because they've kind of drawn some things up that got you a little bit, and hopefully you adjust in the game and you make it right. But it's a little bit of all of that.
You mentioned in the Amazon documentary there was a scene where you were talking very frankly about your life after football and CT and all those possibilities. Was it important to you to have that in the movie?
No, we thought about whether it should be in or shouldn't be, or at least I did. But I think that we wanted the documentary to be as real as possible and to be as authentic as possible, and ultimately we felt like including it. We certainly didn't want it to be a main theme of it, because I don't think it's a main theme to players or me. I think it's something that's kind of in the background that you're aware of, and there are things that I'm looking forward to potentially trying to mitigate the eventual ramifications of that. But I think it was important for us in the documentary across the board to try and be as authentic and open and letting people into what's going on in my head and NFL players' head, their family, the team. I think it was important to do it across the board.
Okay. come close to? Did you guys come close to taking it out, or was it kind of taken for granted, like it's going to be in there?
No, it was. I don't think we got close to taking it out. I think, you talk about everything going into the film. You go in there and you watch. I think the first time we watched it, it's like 2 hours and something minutes long. It hasn't been trimmed down, and you're debating, what stays in, what stays out. So at some point, just about everything kind of is, what do we want to leave in, what do we want to take out? And I remember that was a discussion, but I think again we just wanted to be as real and authentic as possible. So I don't think it was ever as close as other scenes potentially, but yeah.
Something taken out that you wish wasn't taken out?
Yes, there was, and I'm trying to remember what it was. It was a scene that I liked because it was funny and it meant something to me. But I think at the end of the day, it didn't really, probably wasn't going to strike a chord with a national audience. I believe it was something involving either Kylie and her dad, but I can't remember it off the top of my head now. But yeah, there wasn't much main stuff trimmed out of it. It was more like accessory things that didn't fit into the piece structurally, I guess.
What keeps you coming back to this place? I mean, you've been in the game for 14 years. It's just like, do you really have fun coming here every day?
I do. I really do, man. You'll see as you keep going, as you young in your career, when you got good teams and you got good people around, I mean, it makes it not even work. It feel like it's all fun. But when you ain't got that, trust me, it's a long season, especially if you start 0-2 in Philly.
Should he quit his day job?
No. Nah, y'all don't pay enough.
Can y'all feel that? Can you feel what's about to happen on this field, man? Can you feel what we about to get into? They don't respect us. They don't know about our hood, man. That thing is beating your doggone chest right now. Whatever you got today, I got to have it. Are you gonna